This episode of Outside the Box is sponsored by Bellew and Kiziltan Solicitors.
We're delighted to bring on BLJ as our first ever sponsors of the podcast, and especially with some of the opinions that Ozzy and Tony come out with, it probably seems sensible to bring a legal partner on board first.
For more than 200 years, Bellew and Kiziltan have been helping people across Liverpool for all of their life decisions.
Whether it's expert family law, conveyancing, wills and probate, or sorting disputes, their team is there when it matters most.
Now, a lot has changed since 1821, but their commitment to helping people has never waned.
Bellew and Kiziltan Solicitors, by your side since 1821.
To find out more, visit bljsolicitors.co.uk.
From the top.
Yeah, so a few late nights, Ozzy.
Yeah.
You tired us?
Yeah.
Why?
A few late nights. Yeah, it's not been easy, to be honest. That's why I'm late. I've got a legitimate excuse. It's my body clock is all over the place at the minute. Those 2 o'clock in the morning games.
Which games did you work?
2 till 4. This
what time
week.
does your night start? What time are you leaving the house? 11?
No, midnight.
Okay, so you're getting there for 1.
So I'm getting there for, well, at that time of night, traffic's great.
Brilliant.
So I'm getting there at like 20 to 1, and then the game kicks off at 2 till 4. I did Iran, New Zealand. To be fair, I did back-to-back 2 o'clock in the morning games. Both of them were very good, actually. They were really good games. Iran, New Zealand was actually dead competitive. Two teams.
All,
yeah, two teams going at it. Yeah, it was like watching a good old school, not being disrespectful, like championship game or something along them lines, where they don't want to overplay. They're just getting the ball out of their feet. They're knocking it forward. Big men, Chris Wood holding the ball up, bringing people into play. Good game in that sense. They weren't messing around. And then the next night, once I started to get my body clock in tune, because that was like a zombie talking. That Iran game, there was the amount of times that the commentator came to me and I just didn't have any words.
It's not like you to be lost for words.
Yeah, I just couldn't find the words. I was like a zombie. Or
Wish you were like that on this sometimes.
Or trying to find an intelligent word and just kept coming out with the and it and stuff like that. It was tough. Yeah, but then following night, got my body clock a little bit better, slept in late, tried to have an afternoon nap. So by the time I got to kick off, I was actually feeling a lot better. I don't know if I sounded a lot better.
So you're fully acclimatized now?
Yeah, to watch Messi score his first World Cup hat-trick.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Algeria. Good game now.
Very good.
That was a good game. Well, it was a good game. It was good to watch him. I mean, he's 38, he's 39 next week.
Is you didn't know that?
Oh, yeah, he's 39 during the tournament. He's 39, and yet he still brings in the crowd. They were like bowing to him, the crowd, because paid a lot of money to see Messi play in a World Cup.
Yeah,
and he didn't disappoint. I mean,
isn't he?
Zidane's kid helped him. The lad in goal, Lucas Zidane. He made a couple of. Should have saved. Yeah. They've got Algerian descent, and
no, Zidane has, but I didn't know someone's an Algerian goalkeeper.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Well, I do my homework when I'm
that's the only on the box. Doesn't know anything about any other teams.
He's been watching since he was 12. He's mightily impressed with him.
Yeah. So obviously not many people stayed up to watch the 2 o'clock in the morning game, so I've got a lot of info for you.
Yeah.
But he should have stopped the first 2. But take nothing away from Messi, he was. He just still has that.
Are you surprised that he's gone and scored a hat trick at that age, or should we still be expecting that from Messi?
I'm never surprised with anything he does anymore. He's just magic. But the team, like they did 4 years ago, so you shouldn't be surprised. The team are just centered around him. He walks around the pitch. He does a token closing down every now and again, but he doesn't do loads of it. But he's in the right place at the right time. Every time someone in the team gets the ball, they see, where is he? We'll pass it to him. I mean, his third goal, they win the ball back on the halfway line, play it to him on inside the D. Then they all make runs. He makes a pass off, and then as soon as the lad gets it, they're like, where is he again? They pass it back to him. Then he goes to the other side, down the left, and you think, was it Alvarez or whoever it was down the left-hand side? You think he's going to drop his shoulder and go, nope. You turn back and pass it straight back to Messi.
Yeah.
So the whole team is centered around him. They got great success from it last time, but it means your Lautaro Martinez, your Julian Alvarez, those playing up front, they've got to buy into it's not about me scoring goals, it's about getting the best for Messi. But they did it 4 years ago and won the World Cup, so probably try and do it again.
Yeah. You see Portugal, looking at Ronaldo, he hasn't really hit the heights of what Messi has in his first game.
Well, it
What
was
about the opposition though as well. It's who you're facing. You can only, he was up. They were tough. The Congo side last night.
You wouldn't have said that before the game, though, would you?
Mate, but they were physical. I've got to give it to all the African nations. They defend really well and they're all well set up. They defend. They're all really strong, robust athletes, and they all play to their strengths. I just think you've got to give them credit where it's due.
Some intelligent players as well, though. But they've. There was a game Tony's watched 6 o'clock kickoff, so that was reasonable. That was a reasonable time.
Made
Boy,
that
you
one.
want it? Let's talk at length about this one.
You tune in to watch the greatness, don't you? Obviously, I wasn't awake for Messi, and he's obviously the god of football. But I just feel you play against your opposition. I think it's really hard for some of these teams, like Portugal, who come in, and Portugal I've got every right to say we've got the best midfield in the world. With the players they've got in the middle of that park who can dictate play and do what they can do, they can open anyone up. But when you've got a team that sits in this fancy called the low block, listen, you just sit deep. Just stop all this nonsense talk, this football jargon.
Yeah.
They sit deep and they make it hard for you. And I feel like they weren't good enough.
I still expected more from them in the way I did.
From who? Ronaldo or
from Portugal in general. I still
I did.
expected more. Did you see Thierry Henry's criticism of Ronaldo?
No, what did he say?
The bit of stuff he did. He basically called him out and said he's being selfish and he's trying to score for himself rather than making sure the team score. He kept running into places that Bruno Fernandes, as an attacking midfielder, would naturally run into.
And he's telling Bruno, you can hear it on the pitch.
Yeah.
He's shouting at Bruno as
rather than being in a place a striker should be for a tap-in, because the ball might not come and he's getting kind of in the way because he wants to score rather than the team scoring. And Thierry called him out and called him selfish.
Is that a team set-up thing, though? Because we've just said, Argentina have built around Messi. We've probably done the same with Kane. Is that because Portugal have built their team not to be centred around Ronaldo, and that's why it's a selfish act? Because other players are doing it, and it's...
Maybe, but I think that's the difficult one, because I was talking to my son and my brother last night and my dad about Bruno Fernandes must be getting mad, because for the last 5 years at least, you'd expect. I know Cristiano Ronaldo is amazing, one of the best players the world's ever seen, but Bruno's probably been in his peak for 5 years now and would have expected to have been the captain, taking every free kick, doing this, and he does when Ronaldo's not in the team, but he's still fighting against it. The team should be built around Bruno Fernandes. You feel
that's down to Roberto Martinez, and that's down to your manager and all one of your players. I'm sorry, that can never happen. Carlo Ancelotti wouldn't let that happen. But Roberto Martinez has. So I think that's the top and bottom of that one.
I think Roberto Martinez needs to have a good World Cup, because he didn't do particularly well with Belgium.
And in the squad they had as well. Wow. Romelu Lukaku.
Called that the golden generation of Belgian football, didn't they?
And I think it's gone, because they're all past it now.
The Belgium team isn't as good now, you'd say, as it was
when he had them.
As it was a while back, yeah.
Because he had the lot. He had De Bruyne at full peak, Lukaku at full peak strength.
Hazard.
Eden Hazard playing. Sane.
Witzel.
Yeah.
People like that. So
big players.
Yeah, they have. And he's moved to Portugal, who have got a great team. I think he was in charge for the Euros a couple of years back, and it didn't go didn't go as well as they want.
And he's got his Ronaldo.
He's got his contract till the end of this tournament, and the press have been asking him, should we talk about that? You could be out of a job, depend. And he's quite relaxed about it in terms of that's just how long my contract is. That's how long it's going for. And the big rumour was that Jose Mourinho was literally ready, handshake signed to go in after this tournament. And he's now decided Real Madrid.
Yeah, fair play.
Real Madrid.
And you watch how he manages them, because he'll have no messing around him.
Yeah.
He'll have no messing. It's straight away.
You think he's still got it?
Yeah, 100%. Once straight away, he'll have conflict with players, and as long as the Madrid hierarchy back him, he's going to be okay.
They're after Enzo Fernandez, and he's come out and said he's a huge target for him. They've just announced that they've just signed Bernardo Silva, Cucurella. Yeah. So it does seem like they're going for a diminutive team with those players coming in. Real Madrid were always the Galacticos. They were brilliant, but they were quite physical. Even if you go back to the likes of Figo making that big one, he's still a big guy.
He's got a presence.
yeah, they usually have a good size. Barcelona, you imagine, are the ticky-tacky, smaller,
Footballers.
those kind of players. But hey, we'll see. We'll see.
I think he'll do a good job. I think Mourinho will take them back up where they've never left, really. They're always there.
I don't know if he will, to be honest. Look, they're Real Madrid. They will compete to the latter stages of the Champions League. They'll have a good goal winning the league. I just don't know if he'll bring them back to.
I think he'll make them
to that powerhouse juggernaut that we've known them as.
I just think he'll defensively make them more robust, and that's what I think the only thing they lack, because going forward they've got everything. As I said before, I'll say again, I think Jude Bellingham is the difference. I said it before, and I've told you all my opinions on him.
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
I will happily remind you of what I've said. And I will bask in the glory. But that boy is special. And in a Real Madrid shirt, I'm telling you, mate, the boy's going to end up the greatest English player of all time.
Let's talk about him then, because he had a good game last night.
It's exceptional.
Yeah. What did you like about him?
Just the fact of everything was going with him and through.
Wait, first of all, did you stay up late for the game? Did you stay up late?
You can't classify that as late.
Well, it seems like it is in his book.
I watched every single second of the match last night with 3 out of my 4 sons. So yeah, it was very good football to watch. And listen, I mean, who are we to question Thomas Tuchel? I think these players that he's left out now, no one is really talking.
Could it have been a different story though? First half it is 2-2. Which wouldn't have been an awful start to the game against Croatia, and we did bounce back in the second half, and we were much better. But were you a little bit nervous when it was 2-2 at half time? What did you think?
I'm not going to lie, my only worry, and I don't want to say this because I think he's an absolutely amazing player, but Nico O'Reilly got caught out of position, and I thought he looked. I think he's an amazing footballer going forward, and I think he is the best left back we have, by the way. So he has to start. But I'm telling you, mate, you can see a difference when he's playing for City and when he's playing for England. I know we've harped on about the likes of Foden and all these people, they don't fit into a system. But he got caught out of position a couple of times, and one of them cost us. The equaliser was on his side, I'm sorry. And without calling him out over that, and I'm not, because what I know about football, you could write on the back of a first-class stamp and still have room for the Lord's Prayer. But I'm just saying what I seen last night.
I agree with, he was out of position for the... Was it the first goal? Their first goal. But that seemed to me more of a tactical thing, being told by the manager where to be rather than him just wandering it. Because
do you think he's getting told us get up that pitch as fast as you can?
Well, he kept engaging because they were kind of wing backs a little bit of time, and he kept engaging right at the top of the pitch, and John Stones was moving over to left back. And if you go watch that first half again, the amount of times John Stones found himself 1v1 in a left back area was too many for us as panic, nervous fans watching your team. You don't want your centre halves in the full back area going and being exposed in that sense. So yeah, I did sort of get a little bit concerned.
Definitely. Just happy the football season. I
was actually screaming it at the telly about 5 minutes before we actually conceded from it. But it was a tactical thing that came with its advantages as well. And I thought in possession, I thought he did quite well. O'Reilly, I thought he was good. Just got caught out there. I don't think he did in the second half. I think he was probably told at half time, start from a little bit deeper. Don't wander in there too early, because if you think about the second half, he wasn't in there, and that's a tactical tweak. That's very good from the England manager. I just really enjoyed it. We started the game well. 2 set piece goals. That was, you start by going, here we are. We're Arsenal. We're Arsenal. We're turning into Arsenal. That's it. With 2 set piece goals. We can only score set pieces.
Declan Rice's delivery is brilliant. He's exceptional.
It was a great corner.
I thought he was brilliant last night, Declan Rice.
He was. Concerns when he went off because he looked like he was
he looked a little bit injured.
You'd never expect us to take him off in that way.
It's like he had shin pads on both sides of his leg.
What I will say is, at this stage, as long as an injury to anybody, because Harry Kane was seen with something strap on his and ice and all that after the game, as long as it's not a 2-week, 3-week injury,
just got to manage it.
Anything you can manage, because you win the first game, you'd expect we should have enough to actually.
What can be see our way through a 3-week injury?
We can tweak a hamstring,
and that's only 2 or 3 weeks.
And because of the speed I played with throughout my
Yeah,
career,
yeah.
Tony, I tweaked.
This is when Leon's obviously clearly taking the piss.
I tweaked.
Because Leon loved to play walking football. Leon was a king of it.
It may have looked like I loved to play walking football. It wasn't my intent to play walking football. But I pulled my hamstring once. I had tweaked it.
That was running the bar. That wasn't on football.
And it was, yeah.
Tell them how you did it on the trampoline.
Did it on the trampoline? No.
What did you do on the trampoline?
We don't like to talk about what I got up to on a trampoline. Tony.
We'll leave that for another day.
So we're gonna
a 2 to 3 week injury.
No, you can tweak your hamstring and you
I've
can be
never
back
heard of
in. You can be back in 8 days. If it's literally a
Okay.
grade 1, you can sort of get back out depending on the. But it's different grades: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Grade 1, you can 2 weeks. You can get back
Doesn't it
in.
worry you when you hear them saying about Bukayo Saka's Achilles tendon?
Yeah, it sounds serious.
I've snapped, man. And I'm telling
Achilles
you
is-
now, mate, that's a bit like, should he even be there?
That's something. Well,
He come on and he was brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the pass to find Rashford was exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked sharp when he came on.
It's
vision
just something
was-
you manage because if you can have tendonitis. I had tendonitis in my knee after I had the ACL and took the bit of stuff there. You can manage it. It's really sore at times, and after the games, it's
injection.
incredibly painful. No, I wouldn't
never do that?
encourage an injection in tendons and ligaments. No, absolutely not. You do that in bones. If you've got a broken toe, I have plenty of them, and injections them, or I had a broken rib on
I had an
occasion.
injection in my hand for every
Injection in
single
them.
professional fight in my career.
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah, my right
So
hand
you
was
couldn't
always-
actually feel it. That's
my
why
right
you
hand
probably
was-
looked
That's
that
why
good.
you won.
My right hand was fractured, and I never ever had the time to get it operated on. So I'd always be okay in camp because I'd be able to strap my hands a certain way, and the surgeon made me a cast that I could train in, and the cast used to keep my wrist and hand in place. But like I would, every single fight, I would have a painkiller injection in my hand.
No way.
That's okay. That's legal.
It's legal, yeah, it's fine.
You want to get one in your forehead and your couple in both your cheeks.
Get them everywhere, yeah.
Thanks for that, Oz. There's nothing wrong with my cheeks, and they're considerably younger looking than yours. How you pick on someone your own size,
Ouch. Fair enough.
considering we're the same age.
Another player who did look a little bit injured when he was coming off, I think, was Rashford. Even though he had an amazing game, he was holding.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Did Rashford come off?
He didn't come. No, not when he after
come
the
on?
game. At the end of the game, where he just like,
Because I thought he was brilliant when he come on.
yeah. Oh no, he was brilliant. It was just he just looked like he was just looking.
I didn't notice. I think quite often people, if they're feeling anything, will just ice it up after the game. I don't always think that's a huge concern. But we look good. At the first half, I was okay with. The one thing that frustrated me in the first half was the way we conceded the second goal on half time. First goal was a tactical thing. We got done, gave the ball away in a poor area. Their second goal on half time. But we had all 11 players behind the ball. Harry Kane was deep, and he was still 7, 8, 9 yards away from the player that played the forward pass, and he was only 15 yards from our box. We were in a row of 7 or 8 in the back. Bellingham was in the alongside the centre half. I was screaming at the telly, "Get forward, Kane! You've got to put pressure. We're
Why
too
is he
deep."
so deep?
That's
Why
part.
is he so
That's
deep?
part of where he. That's part of what he does.
Isn't
But
it frustrating that your forwards on the edge of your own box? A number of times last night I thought, why are you on the edge of the box?
yeah, no, look, it is. But that frustrated me at the last World Cup, and it had frustrated me at the Euros as well when we were defending. But that's sort of become who he is, an identity. And now we have wide men that play further forward. But in that moment, we looked like we were nervous and trying to see the half out. And the best thing was how we reacted. So I was worried and frustrated about that, thinking, here we go again. We get ahead and we feel nervous defending something. The best thing was, one, how England started in the second half and played in the second half. And then two, hearing the interviews from the players after the game, and also Thomas Tuchel, and how they said he wasn't happy. And actually, listening to Anthony Barry at half time in his interview.
I spoke to him, who's that Scouser? Do you know him, Oz?
Yeah. Used to be at Everton as a young lad.
Did he?
Yeah, never really
But
did
great
anything
to
in
see
his
one of our
football
own.
career. Yeah, but actually
Good coach.
found a path at football coaching and has ended
done.
up working where he is. He's done incredibly well and is well respected in the coaching world.
Brilliant.
And he come out at half time, and I don't think anyone was overexcited to hear from him. I think everyone was wanting Thomas Tuchel because sometimes assistant managers come out and basically
just to talk at half time. That's disgusting.
Oh, it's just part of the football package and what you pay for.
Imagine at half time, you're in the dressing room and the players are talking, waiting for the gaffer to come in, and he goes, "Lads, he's just doing an interview for a minute."
Yeah, fair.
How professional?
Yeah, no, but it's now part of the modern consciousness of football in terms of Premier League asks for it. They'll in many games now, one of the players will be late into the dressing room half time because
it's not on that.
He's got to go and do a
Imagine you're losing 1-0, and the gaffer wants to give someone a good bollocking, or someone needs to tell them, you're the skipper, you've captained our club. Imagine they go to you, right? The gaffer's telling something, and they go, right, Leon, we just want you to speak to the telly for 5 minutes.
It's frustrating because it happens after the game, as flash interviews straight after the game, and players now miss out on team talks or celebrations or commiserations, whatever it is that happen after the game. You miss it because you do and you talk to the press, but. The more money that's injected into the game, there's going to be more demands from the media. And players are getting paid more, so they're okay with the things that come with it.
Overstep them. That's overstepping the mark, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get it after the game, but during the game, or someone gets subbed these days, and sometimes they do it on Sky, and then they're straight on the box.
Managers will tell you they don't like it. Players will tell you they'd rather do without it, but.
Vinny Junior's just said we're not doing it.
Yeah,
Vinny said, I'll pay the fine, we're not doing it.
Yeah, Iz was an argument over the press conference in general because, it probably escalated, but they, when they were Hakimi as well for Morocco, both that press conference, Spanish journalism's tried to ask questions in Spanish to the Brazil players and Morocco players. And they were told by the bosses in charge of that they only had to speak English and ask the question in English. And then I don't know the exact thing, but they all speak that. So in the end, I think Vinny Junior started to speak in Portuguese only, or there was some sort of Portuguese because that was his native language. And he's right. And he also said at the end, frustratingly, he said, this tournament isn't just hosted in English-speaking countries; it's hosted in Mexico as well.
Yeah,
it's one of the hosts of Mexico. So why we have to speak only in that?
Speaking your native tongue, I don't care what
in
you
that
want.
language. So
I imagine just to put it into another way. Imagine like in between the rounds, the Sky Sports or the Zone. Imagine the Zone go. Right, Tony, we're just going to speak to the coach.
There are other companies out there as well, for anyone who's listening.
You just think to yourself, imagine, the Zone go to my cornerman in between the rounds. Go, we want to have a little chat with your cornerman.
Yeah.
What do you mean? In between the round? I've got 60 seconds to talk to him and get some instructions of him, but you want to talk to him? We're paying, you know what I mean? We're paying the big money to put this fight on. Listen, mate, that's wrong.
It would be more for you while you're back in the ring and the cornerman sat there watching. It would be more an interview then. So we'd be basically talking over
while you're doing it,
talking over your actual round. Let's just say round five, the cornerman talking over. It would be strange. It would be incredible insight. And I tell you what, now you've said it,
don't be giving them ideas.
Now you've said it. There's a chance that'll happen. Let's just say within 5 years' time, within 10 years' time, that could happen.
Never happen. Because who's going to speak to the fight? Only the coach and the fighter speak, and then also the coach 90% of the time is the one giving them the drink. So
but during the round, but while the boxers are out in the round and the cornerman and people are just watching the fight.
No, it does happen in between rounds sometimes. But it does happen while the round's going on. I've seen cameramen speak so I've seen that happen, and I'm okay with that because he's watching the fight. He can carry on watching the fight, but he's talking and saying what he's seeing. But not in between the minute round. And I just feel it's exactly the same for footballers. You've got 15 minutes that the coach needs to get his instructions across to the team. That is so important. It could be the smallest detail that he's given or that someone can miss and he hasn't got enough time to get it across. Or his mind could be somewhere else walking into an interview to being wary of what he says. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, he goes back into the dressing room and forgets about what he's been watching and seeing. Leave the man alone. He's got 15 minutes to direct and instruct his team and get the best out of his players. He's got to go in there and be thinking of nothing else but what have I got to tell them?
Well, they did it really well because Thomas Tuchel obviously kept his mindset on what they were doing, and Andy Barry
he didn't look happy.
Went and did the interview, and he
didn't look happy. That lad, the Scouser.
he wasn't. And that's the point. He was actually we were 2-2, conceded right on half time, and they were quite critical of our mindset and decision making and things like that. And I thought, I kind of like that actually, but then the team talk they gave at halftime and what the players came out and said after the game, what Thomas Tuchel himself admitted to was that talk was the exact reason why he's been brought in to actually try and
even
take
Kane
us,
mentioned
to
after
take
the game,
us a
didn't
step further, because he came out and he said, why are you playing so scared? Why are you dropping back? He actually then mentioned, why are we so deep? We've got 7 players behind the ball. Why do we feel like we need to hold on to something? We need to go out, and if we're going to, why play in that manner? Why play in that mindset? If we're going to lose, we'll lose playing our way. Go and get the next goal. Stop feeling you.
Is that what Tuchel said?
Yeah, stop feeling like you need to hold on to for something. I don't want that. Go out, push forward, go lose. If we're going to lose, being exciting and impressive and lose our way. Now get out there and be yourselves. And each one of the players looked like they grew a foot in the dressing room. When they came out for the second half, they all looked a foot taller. The intensity we played at, which we know we can play at, was too much for Croatia to handle. We should have potentially scored 3 goals in 5 minutes. It would have been great had we had scored 3 goals in 5 minutes, but actually, sometimes if you score the first goal and then you score the second goal, your intensity kind of drops. But our intensity stayed for a good 15, 20 minutes, so that's why it was so exciting. If we'd scored, it might not have been. We'd be scored enough. It was just a great watch.
I went to bed as soon as I finished. I didn't hear the comments after it, and I didn't listen to them. I'll catch up on them. But I'm made up he said that and come out and being openly honest, because you wouldn't have got that in the past. All you guys, we've won 4-2, what a result, brilliant, fantastic. But he's come out and he's hit them head on and gone, he's told them, and that's brilliant.
I think it was a mixture of anger and frustration about certain things, but also it seemed a calmness, an assurance. Let's just be ourselves. You don't need to, basically, I felt listening to everybody that with his body manners and the way he verbally spoke, he just relaxed everybody and took the tension out of it, took the nervousness out of the situation. And suddenly you allow our players, if you can take the tension and nervousness out of the performance of our team, wow, we've got a team. And obviously then we progressed. You get to, the fourth quarter. Now as we're getting to corner it, because
what do you think about them?
Why
not liking them?
Why me off? No.
Water breaks. I do think they're needed, mate. It is hot out there.
Look, they're needed in some games. They're not needed in all games. I mean,
yeah, true.
You can ask the question of the England players and the Croatian players yesterday, but that game's played inside a stadium that is temperature sort of regulated.
21 degrees.
Do you know what I mean? So the temperature's regulated in there. When you go and play in an open stadium, when we play in, when you see France play at early at New York when it's ridiculously hot, stop for hydration breaks. But I don't think they're necessary all the time.
Yeah, but they're going to say if you stop for one game, why can't you stop? The team's going to moan.
Yeah, true. You do one game,
they're becoming huge momentum changes. It happened to us in that game. I thought we were good up until the hydration break in the first half, and then ended up on the back foot after it when managers can make changes. And I have a watch as well in the second half, the amount of teams that make one or more likely a double substitution within 1 minute to 2 minutes before the hydration break. Because what actually happens is they'll make a double sub, and quite often a manager will make a double substitution and he wants to try and send it because he's seen something, he's going to tactically change something, and he's trying to send the information on through the players. Whereas now he makes a double substitution just before the hydration break and then explains to the whole team exactly what's happening and what's going on.
It's clever, isn't it?
So it is. It's players, managers, people in the game will always stretch the rules as far as they possibly can, and that's just
the NFL.
That's just a little one.
Everything's tactical, and I listened to the radio on the way in, and I just feel we're losing football a little bit. I just think the Mavericks are going. I don't see any Mavericks no more. I don't see. I listened to it, and they were talking about Kaká being the first Brazilian footballer who adapted and became a European-style footballer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A fella who wasn't, the skills, that played with that beautiful, Brazilian culture and the flair and all them things, even though he was an amazing footballer, Ballon d'Or winner. But then we just missed, are we ever going to see an R9 or Ronaldinho again? Because football, I feel
players them too.
But are we ever going to see them again?
Well, look, years ago, you go back to far earlier than any of us can remember.
Just explain the tactics.
Yeah, you're right. So we go back to far earlier than any of us can remember, maybe than anyone can remember. You go back to what it was in its infancy. It was each country were basically playing in their own country, and you took your styles and your way of playing and had to go against other people. And then even in the 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, it was kind of the Brazilians and South Americans all played in South America. The main Europeans played in their own countries, as did Scandinavians. Everybody played kind of where they are. And it was taking different cultures and having them play against each other. But because of what football's become now, everybody's playing in the kind of the same leagues because that's where the money is. So they're all playing a very similar style of football, depending on what the manager there is teaching them, because they're only with their country and in international teams, a couple of weeks every year.
So do you think that the money's ruined the culture for football?
No. I think it's just a different style, because look, you generally will be, and even this is changing, but you generally will be brought up in your country until you're 15 years old. So your basics and your fundamentals, you'll grow up Brazilian. You'll play street football. You'll grow up Argentina. You'll grow up English, where, head and kick it.
I'm not sure now.
But
I'm not sure.
Nowadays, you look at the World Cup.
It's taking them at 10 and 12
you
years
look
of
at,
old age.
Yeah. And ours are getting overly coached because it's in England, but they're getting picked up by clubs at 6 years of age. So they're getting overly coached. You're right. Whereas, I don't know if they're getting that. They're still playing street football in Brazil. The difference, our one is the likes
of at what age? A baby, and he's a proper
young, because he was over there quite early. One of his parents had to move over there with him.
But you're then thinking to yourself, he's Maradona.
Yeah, but our version of that would be Eze in terms of not being within an academy, playing street football up till really late. But even that, going back to the culture I'm talking about there, you look at this World Cup, you've seen the amount of players for every different team that were born in France.
Yeah,
and on top of that, born in Paris.
Yeah, crazy. It's like 50 plus, maybe.
It's it's ridiculous. Really? Yeah,
born in Paris. Yeah.
Numerous African teams have got players that they're born in France. Ilman Adai, pretty sure he was born in France. He plays for Senegal. So there are so many players that are born. Yeah, heritage. I mean, everybody. That's what it is. Go back. I don't know why this one's popped in my head, but. Kevin Kilban, born in Preston, is Irish heritage.
Not quite Paris.
Not quite Paris. But what I'm saying is, you can have Irish parents, you can have Scottish parents, and be born in England.
These countries are melting pots, and you're just getting all kinds of different nationalities in these countries who are now eligible to play for that country. So yeah, I get it. But ultimately, I just feel we're losing football in terms of the cultures in football. I don't see Brazil playing like Brazil used to play. And is that because all the players have left the continent over there and they've come over to Europe? Like, we're just not seeing, like, that Brazil performance, that wasn't good. But that wasn't Brazil. Like, that just weren't Brazil.
I just don't know if Brazil are the powerhouse that
they used to be.
We've always expected them to be.
Amazing.
Now, and remember,
every single World Cup ever.
Brazil won three out of 4 World Cups around the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Brilliant. But then Brazil went an age till 1994 before they won it again. They do have lulls, even though that 1982 team was, I think they're regarded as Brazil's best team that didn't win it. But we grew up again with, our age group. Brazil won it in 94. Brazil won it in 2002. So we're used to, like, the previous generation of Brazil are one of the best teams. But actually, they do have lulls, and they do go through periods where they've got good players and exciting players that don't quite do. And I just think that's their squad at the minute.
You still see them players in that squad, even from 94 to 02 and then the 98 one as well. You still see them players that are about the fellas with the skills and the fellas with the Nielsen's in them teams, players like that, Ronaldinho's. Like, who is he now in them teams? I mean, you'll say Neymar, but how old's Neymar now? I mean, should he even be in that squad?
But as well, one of the things, touching on what you're saying, is, and your previous comments as well, is one of the things that the World Cup sort of excited you when you're watching Brazil is you were seeing players on the telly that you hadn't really seen before, and the Brazilian, and they were doing something, wow, I haven't seen that. But you're now saying who Brazil got. They're actually the guy who used to play for Leeds, Rafinha. So they've got Rafinha. We see him all the time playing for Barcelona. On the other side, you see them playing. So, but you basically look at Casemiro. You're looking at Bruno Guimaraes. you're basically seeing these players every week in either the Premier League or the European leagues. We've got access to seeing them all the time. So then when the World Cup comes around, the excitement of, what have Brazil got? What have Argentina got? We kind of know what they've got. We see it every week.
That's my exact point. They're not Brazilian players, are they? And have we literally taken their culture and their football and turned them into European style players? Because that's what Brazil look like, a European style team. They don't look like the South American juggernauts who knock it round and play differently and play beautiful football. They now look like it's been coached out of them. They look like a European team.
Maybe, and I thought they were fortunate in that game. And again, touch on hydration breaks, because Morocco were well on top until that hydration break came in, and then Carlo Ancelotti got a chance to bring them over, tactical work, talk to them, and suddenly Brazil are back in the game. Morocco look good.
Yeah, they did.
Morocco look good.
Are they playing Scotland next?
They are, yeah.
Serious nation, then, mate. They all work. Runners all over the pitch, hard grafters. Workers.
Some good players in there as well.
Quality football.
So Morocco, there could be a dark horse. Morocco, I know the.
I'm not sure how they'll come up against real quality though. I think they'll be punished.
Look, when we expect the back end of the competition arrives, you'd expect the same old teams to be there. It's usually the ones that have competed year on year and won it before. But you generally find a surprise, and you know, I think last pod I was talking, it might be USA or Canada, or you know, I didn't fancy Mexico, and then or maybe Senegal, but Morocco showed
you changed it to you there. You were like Canada all the way through last time, and now you picked about four, and then Canada drew.
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be one of the African nations. I think they're so well set up, and so well drilled.
Norway looked all right.
I was going to say, can you put Norway? Can they classify as a dark horse, or are they actually quite good?
Once you've got Haaland, mate,
you can classify them as a dark horse, definitely.
Really?
Yeah. No, in terms,
Odegaard and Haaland.
In terms of, can you classify them as a dark horse because they're actually well known, but they've never really got to the latter stages of a competition. They've been unlucky as well. Norway, I read the stat. They got knocked out in 1990 when three out of the 4 teams went through, and they got knocked out in bottom place, and all 4 teams were on 4 points. So it was like Mexico first, Republic of Ireland second, Italy third, Norway fourth. All 4 teams in the group had 4 points. They'd all obviously won one, drew one, lost one, and they went out on not enough goals scored. And yeah, it just made me sort of have a different perspective on other nations have a little bit of trouble as well. And on top of it, that 3, because I just thought as soon as a team wins a game in this competition, you're basically through. When 3 teams go through, but actually there is potential for it not to happen.
Do we all know what's happening? So if England, we're going to win 2 games. I think we're going to win 2 games and draw 1. I know that sounds stupid, but
in the group,
I think he'll go really weak in the 3rd game, and I think
I still think we win.
I think we win all 3.
We should win, but I think we'll draw one of the games. But if we win all 3 games, do we know exactly who we've got in the next? Do we know which way it's going?
We play on.
I think
it's the first. If we win the group, we Group L. We are Group L, aren't we? If we're Group L, we play on Wednesday, the 1st of July at 5 p.m.
It's the brains.
Group L winner against 3rd placed team from about 4 different groups. It could be Group K, L, J.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
it's built me up to absolutely nothing.
It's impossible to know who we play at this stage because of the variation that could come in.
Okay.
But that's when we would play, because I was almost to play golf that day, and I'm going to have to move my tea time.
Fair.
That's why I was looking and trying to work it out. Oh, and it's competition at Ormskirk Golf Club, where I'm a member. Very good golf club. Yeah, actually, yeah. Reasonable green fees for anyone who's listening.
Just another post for his golf club. Yes, that's very nice.
But
I'm a member of S&A, so just remember.
S&A? What's S&A?
S&A. Southport name to the golf club. I'm also a member of
S&A.
S&A, yeah. It's a lovely, beautiful course. Links. So get
all right, you've said enough now. Okay. Going back to England, no. We only got up to the second half. It was, we've talked about, we'll come back to France as well, linked to this. We looked strong with the changes we could make.
Really strong.
We got to a certain point, and I was concerned Declan Rice going off, or Reece James going into the middle. I'm not sure. He's a central midfielder. But for all the talk, Jed Spence did really well when he came on.
He did.
in an attacking sense, his pace is a joke.
That's it. We injected
And
so
the-
much pace into that
And
team. It helped.
the two wide men, if we can change our two wide men for the two that came on,
I want to ask you a question. From your perspective, do we need two defensive midfielders? Purely just your opinion. And I know we can't question Thomas, but I just want to know from a footballer's perspective, what do you think about that?
I think I like to have two players in there. I don't know if it depends what you class. Do you class Elliot Anderson as a defensive midfielder? I don't.
I don't. But he sat.
Yeah.
He stayed there.
So if you were to play,
If anyone, Rice got forward more than him.
if you were to play Reece James as one of them and someone else as two players who are and John Stones.
That was another one as well.
For
Reece
instance.
James getting moved into the middle. I was like, well, what's going on?
I was
here?
concerned about that for two reasons. One, because don't give him too much more running to do. He'll get injured. We can try to limit his running rather than making him do more. And two, because I'm not sure defensively his instincts as a central midfielder are as good as other people that we've got in who play that position on a more regular basis. But I just think that I think we had different options in there, and I just think if you would have played Reece James and John Stones, now that's two defensive minded midfielders. No, because their only instinct would be just to be retreating deeper and deeper. So Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson, I don't class either of them as a defensive midfielder. I class them as old school. Go back to the 90s when we were growing up, all round midfielders. Okay. They've got mindset to defend, but they've also got mindset to go forward. So I like to have both of them in there because you've not got one that is like, who am I thinking of? Go back to Makaleli, Casemiro to a lesser extent because he actually does get forward a bit, but they are defensive midfielders.
Like a proper six.
Yeah, proper one.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's what
those two of ours aren't, so I like that.
That's what Anderson done. He just
Bellingham
sat.
being in there didn't work though.
Yeah, I'll have that. When he's
He looked-
after City.
He got beat easily a few
I
times
just
through
think
the middle.
tiredness was at a stage then because he'd done so much running, closing down, chasing, looking to get in behind them all the time. I think it's so difficult when Harry Kane comes so deep. If I'm thinking, if I was you and as a player, would you go to him? If Harry Kane comes into your space, are you kind of saying, what are you doing here?
Well, So
That would worry me.
it would frustrate me because he's coming into my space and damn, that means that I need to run into a different space, which now means I've run around a lot and now I've got to make a run past Harry Kane because that's the balance. But at the same time,
Made that block. Fair play to him.
yeah,
Harry Kane.
at the very end, yeah,
Wow.
brilliant block. Looked like he took
his
a bit
belly.
of let's call it his belly. It looked like it took a bit of pain for it. Stayed down a little bit
Well, nice
afterwards.
one, that.
Well worth it though. But again, touching on Argentina and Messi, we now know that we're building our team, and we said it before, around Harry Kane. So if I know that, and Harry Kane's got a potential of winning me the World Cup, I'll run all over the place. I don't care. Wait something to me.
I get that, but that's why I always ask the footballer, and I say, like, he comes into your space and he's in your midfield. Like, what do you then do? Do you drop further back? Do you look to push on and go a little bit close to his position? What do you do when he's in them positions?
That has to be something that you've worked on. Okay. So I think Thomas Tuchel mentioned 17 days. He said, beg your pardon, but he's been in charge of the team for nearly 2 years now, coming up to because of after the Euros, and they'll have been working on that for a while. I think you can see it. Our wide men run up. So because you've now worked on it, if Harry Kane's coming into my space, the manager's told me where he wants me to be. Now, generally, those two players being Rice and Anderson. So Bellingham knows if Kane comes deep, I'm running forward. The wide men know if Kane comes deep, I'm running forward. Anderson, Elliott, probably. Kane's coming that deep, probably go wider. Okay. So if it's me, depending on which one of those positions I'm playing, then I'll have known where we need to run and where we need to go and what's the best, because you want to get Kane. You want to get Kane on the ball.
I think it worked second half.
It worked first half as well.
Yeah, I think
really.
it does, but I think it works so well, and purely because of one man, and I think that one man's Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is the most versatile player on the pitch.
He's very good.
I think he moves about all over the pitch, and there's nothing he can't do. He can attack, he can shoot, he can score, he can make that killer pass right through the middle, he can find people, and he's legs as well. So I just think if it's not Declan Rice on the pitch, I don't think that works, him coming in so deep. But with Declan Rice on the pitch, I think it does, and I think Declan Rice is so important.
Well, he can get forward. Well, he can do everything. We thought, go back probably about 4 years, that he was a sitter. He was a number 6, as we call it. It doesn't really go anywhere, but that limits his game so much, and he's got such ability. And yes, he can get forward at times, but one of the things I noticed last night on both sides of the pitch, probably left side, strangely, less so, when the fullbacks go up, anytime a Croatian made a run into them spaces, the Declan Rice matched it.
Yeah.
And got in there and
He's
covers
so
the
good
ground.
at that, goes under the
covers
radar.
the ground, gets in. That then allows you...
Just give use as midfielders so much confidence to know I can go running here. If I want to go running, I know he's got me.
I struggled running. Tony. Why'd you keep bringing that up?
You're such a good footballer. When you get on the ball, and you play a ball and you can go right, so you give it to Pienaar, you give it to Stephen on the left, or you give it to Kevin on the right, and you give it, and then go. You'd look to move on up the pitch. Like, you play with Gaz Barry, and you must have had that feeling with him. I know I can go running here because I know he's so intelligent. His IQ is so high. And he sees everything and he knows. I'll just sit. I'll let you go.
And that's one of the things that actually England kicked on again second half. That they were told to go and play more free, go and play with energy and action, and go and play with intensity. Which they came out second half. And I mean, I think the goal we scored actually ended up with 25 plus, 30 plus passes before we eventually scored. But ultimately, within there, you have to actually play a forward pass, which Elliot Anderson did, thankfully, because a forward pass has to come. You can't just overplay, but we've got runners, we've got people, and I would know, that if I've got people like Anderson and Rice, especially behind me, that you can kind of do that. Fullbacks can do it because they'll come over and cover, and I think that's what works for us. The manager said, "Don't be concerned about what's behind you. Be concerned if you see a guy in front, go to him, and the people behind you will back you up and cover." And I thought,
can I ask you why
you can do that when you've got the energy that Declan Rice has got?
I want to ask you, why do you think he starts Konza? Because in my opinion, wouldn't it be so much better and so much easier if Gahey and Stones and Nico O'Reilly, all club members, all play for the same club? Would it be much better fit if they were there? Like, why does he start Konza? And I'm just asking.
Pace. His pace and his height, and that's taken away nothing from him being a good defender, which he is. But
I don't think he's good on the ball as Gahey.
It's probably maybe you sacrifice a little bit of that on the ball.
Is that why he starts Stonesy?
But he's potentially, but that's the question. Gahey has played on the left of the defence for City for the majority of his time. So you kind of felt he was unlucky because he's basically played in all the qualifiers as well. I think that's why Tuchel put him on near the end. But he's played in most of the qualifiers. He plays on that left side naturally. He's used to playing out down the left, whereas I thought that would be the case, but Stones brings an experience. He brings an assurance. He brings an understanding and a knowledge of these situations. But I think Konza plays because we used to have Kyle Walker's pace at the back that just gave us a bit of assurance to get out of jail card if you make a mistake.
He's James every bit.
I think that's not as quick, whereas Konza is. Konza's quick. You'd expect
Konza's that quick.
Konza's quicker than Reece James. He's not as quick as Jed Spence. I think
He's lightning.
Saw that.
I was explaining to my kids last night because they were like, "Dad, how come John Stones plays?" And I said, "Let me tell you, kids." I said, "I genuinely think he's possibly the best footballing defender." Well, I said he's the best footballer I've ever seen play live. I think he's possibly the best. The only person I can think of a better footballing centre half than him is Rio Ferdinand. And I'm not saying he's better, by the way. I'm just saying who's on that level. I've never seen at the centre back play with as good a footballer IQ.
If Rio was listening to this, I'm sure he, as players do, would say he's better than John. But I think John might tip it.
Really?
Football and centre half.
Just football and just. I'm not saying as defender.
Stepping into midfield. John Stones managed to go in and play centre midfield as in the Champions League final. I think it was. Go play centre midfield.
I still think Rio is a little bit ahead, but
I'm not sure. I mean,
getting on the ball and passing and playing and going and stepping forward and stepping into these roles.
I rate Rio as the best English defender ever.
John tops that.
As a pure football and centre half, I think John Stones is the best I've ever seen.
It's very rare, I think.
The game was a bit different.
But that was really good, I like that.
The game was a bit different then, though, wasn't it? Because defensively, you had to be more rigid. Where now you do have defenders moving into midfield positions and
I'm not saying Rio couldn't have done it.
Rio,
he could have done it, but we didn't see it.
I think Rio playing in today's game would benefit Rio even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Massively. I think Rio Ferdinand in today's game would be the greatest centre-half that's ever played, full stop.
Wow.
But then I also believe, he was allowed to kick players, Rio Ferdinand. He got away with so much more. It's like, how good would Cannavaro be? How good would Nesta be? How good would Maldini and Baresi be? it just are allowed to get away with different things. But then I also believe them players came up against far better players, and I don't care what people will say Messi and Ronaldo. I've never seen a freak like R9. I still haven't seen one to this day who can do what he can do at the drop of a hat, or playing against forwards week in, week out. Your Crespos, your Batistutas, your Inzaghi's, players like that.
Yeah.
They just this is where I'm at with football. I just don't see them big forwards. I just don't see them stars no more.
Centre forwards, I was thinking Van Basten as you were saying that. Centre forwards are few and far between these days, because around the world and academies and places, everybody wants to be a number 10 or a wide man coming in. No one wants to be that big guy playing up front.
Why is that?
I don't know exactly. I think it's potentially coaching, and also when you see the best players on the telly, or when you go and managing to go to the game, you always want to be them. So if they play, which has become the thing at the minute, in wide positions, then that's where you want to play as a kid. But years ago, you used to just go out there on the street and you either wanted to play centre half or centre forward. They were the.
Do you not think kids are going on them car parks? We used to play on the Aldi car park, smashing in at the shutters. I'm telling you now, every kid wants to be Haaland.
Wants to be
Haaland.
Oh, I thought you said Ireland then.
Haaland.
No, you're right. Well, there you go. So he's bringing it back. So maybe in 5 years' time, all the kids will actually want to play centre forwards. But we've gone. Yeah, but we've gone through a period without really having dominating centre forwards. Yeah. So kids be what they see. Like, look at. I was talking about this the other day. You go through a frustrating period. Messi's the best that we see all the time. So we go the match, or we watch every TV because we want to see Messi. But Messi's a one-off. Messi's so unique. He's unicorn, I'll give you that. So he does things that everyone wants to be. But kids are watching Messi and going, I want to be Messi. So when they then go play for their teams, or when they play,
same behaviour.
When they go play for their teams, they always want to highlight. So they'll do chops and stuff because Messi. But then they'll also stand and walk around the pitch and not close down and not doing it because that's what Messi does. And you look at
modern day Messi.
You look at you look at these teenagers that are getting on the borderline of whether they're going to make it or not. At every club across the world. And the amount of them that come into the team and will give you the best of something, but actually their mindset is to, I'll pull my socks up now and I'll just walk around because this is what the arrogant best players do.
Yeah.
But because they're seeing the likes of Messi and Ronaldo do it and not realising that they're freaks. They're not something that you can emulate. You need to not see that part of the game. You need to look at other players that charge around and run and work hard off the ball for you to make it. But quite often these players are on the cusp of the first team because they look at Messi and think, well, the best players show a real arrogance and walk around. If they
look at them players earlier on, they'll have seen, if you watch Messi in his Barca days, he's the hardest one charging first in the press. He's the first one running after them defenders to get the ball back. And even Cristiano Ronaldo, I know he's not the best at it, but he still pressed, mate, and he still closed people down when he was playing for Real Madrid. I just think it's at the point in their careers where they're at now, where they do just stroll around.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But
the kids that are watching don't see that.
They just think
they don't realise this is their sixth World Cup. Yeah, they don't realise this is their sixth World Cup each, and they broke records. And like Messi obviously became the oldest goal scorer, I think it was, in the World Cup. He's just equalised Miroslav Klose's record of World Cup goals at 16 or 17. 16 is it?
Of his ability is the
top he's become the old. Ronaldo's now become the oldest player at the World Cup yesterday by beating that. They have literally made each other be the best that they can possibly be, those two.
Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo's holding Portugal back?
Potentially, but I look at who's their other striker, Gonzalo Ramos, who doesn't actually get to play every single week for PSG. I mean, I know he's up against it with the forward line that they've got.
Would you, if you were the manager of Portugal, are you bringing Ronaldo on to make an impact on 60 minutes, or are you starting? Take into consideration where he's playing.
I'm bringing him on to make an impact, and the reason is because Portugal are different from Argentina. Argentina have literally, as I said before, built their team around Messi just walking around, getting into good positions and bursting his life. Portugal's team isn't about working hard to get Ronaldo the ball. Portugal's team is about playing as a structure and as a team and this. So they don't center it around Ronaldo getting the best out of him. So Ronaldo to play for Portugal still has to find a way of being part of the team, and I don't know if his mindset is that at the moment.
So he's holding them back.
Well, look, they've played one game
I know.
in the World Cup so far,
with the result.
and it was a frustrating game. You'd always look for reasons why that was to be. I talked about Thierry Henry before, in that sense of criticising him. So there will be criticism, but he might play in the next game and score 2 or 3. He can definitely do that.
Of course, he's capable.
In which case, we're now saying actually he's not holding them back. It was a frustrating game for them.
But ultimately, he is. He's holding them back.
They're not building their team around him. So if that's the case, he's a more impact player in my mind.
That's not on Ronaldo. That's on the manager.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
That's not on Ronaldo. He's doing the best he can possibly do for his country, and he's doing what he's always done. It's about him. It's not new to any of us. It's about him. I mean, you could see yesterday the ball that gets pulled back to him, that's behind him when he gets the shot off. That weren't meant for him. That was meant for Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
And he's looking at the players and saying, "What are you doing? What kind of ball was that?"
Bruno looked furious.
Yeah, he did. But the kid I think it was, what's the kid's name on the right hand side who came on, the little fella? Conceição. He didn't have it in him to go, "That weren't for you." It's like the petrified to answer the bloody fella back. Whereas everyone should be, when you get on a football pitch, in my opinion, everyone should be playing off a level playing field. It's like whatever you say to the left wing, you should be able to say to the right back. Whatever said to the central midfielder should be able to be said to the keeper. You're all in it together. Tell him. And it's like he was
not always. Yeah, you want it to be the case, but it's not always the
But
case. There's a certain level of respect, and there's certain levels of understanding and knowledge, and understanding what they've done in their career and for the club as well. So it was frustrating. So Portugal didn't start well. Spain, that was a very unexpected start for them. Very unexpected. 0-0. I think they had 50 touches in
the box.
In Cape Verde's box and couldn't get a shot away.
Keeper played well.
That keeper's done
He
fantastic.
Did you see he's gone from like 10,000 followers, 11,000 followers,
40,000 followers to 11 million.
There you go.
Good on you, lad.
Done well, hasn't he?
Make sure you make that work for yourself.
It was the same as that lad Payne for New Zealand. Did you hear about that story before?
No.
So it's an Argentinian influencer.
Oh, what?
An Argentinian influencer.
Argentinian.
Argentinian.
He's trying to get that
I like it when you come at me for stuff. Yeah, I come at you a lot. I'm glad when you
did comments for the Argentina game as well. You should be getting that right.
I'm surprised he can't speak fluent Portuguese.
An influencer in Argentina decided to find the most obscure player across all of the World Cup and try and see if they could get their social media platforms through the roof and followers.
Okay.
And picked, I think it was Tim Payne from New Zealand, the right back, and he had like 10,000 followers or 5,000. No, he's probably not even that many. 5,000 followers, and he's now got like 7 million followers before the competition. more like twice or three times the amount of the whole of New Zealand.
Why are we talking about social media? Who
It's
gives
true,
a shit?
yeah. Like, it doesn't matter, does it?
Who gives an absolute? I'm trying to refrain my language. Who gives a cod's wallop?
I like that one. Yeah, well refrained.
I'm sick of it. Just forget about the social media aspect. That fella for Cape Verde done great.
Keeper.
He looks about 50, but I'm telling you
I think he's
mate,
40. He's still. Yeah, you might think he's
into
older
that
than you. He's not quite.
He went into that game looking 50, and he was unbelievable. He came out looking like a prime Buffon.
Yeah, but were any of them saves ones that you thought, wow, no one else could save that?
No, but
I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
I know, yeah.
Come on, dude. The reason I said that was a more look at Spain.
Just shoot him down like that. If he was in a wheelchair, you'd have slashed his tires and said, "Go on, get yourself home." That's a bit harsh. Poor fella's just at the moment of his life, and Ozzy's just coming pissed all over him.
Yeah, shanked
It's got to be. It's got to be better.
I've done better than him.
It's got to be better. It's got to be better. Well, I've seen you in goal.
All right, that's step too far.
I wasn't trying to criticise him. No, I'm trying to talking about Spain.
Yeah,
you'd expect Spain to have basically tested him more or made him apt to play. You know, do 15 fingertip saves.
Spain, haven't they? So
yeah, one game. And here's the thing as well, because of the nature of this World Cup. Usually, if you didn't win your first game or you had a poor result in the first game, you're thinking, oh, there's a bit of tension whether they go through, but. You'd still expect that. You still expect all these teams. There's no panic about it.
You have to remember at the last World Cup, the winners lost the first game. The Argies lost to Iraq, was it? Did they lost to? Or Iran?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. They lost 2-0, didn't they, in that game? And they went on to win it. I think Italy lost when they won the World Cup.
Spain lost in 2010.
Is that what it
I
was?
think they lost their first
The French
game.
lost to Senegal when they won it.
No, that was 2002.
Was it?
When the French lost to Senegal. Brazil won that time, yeah.
It's shown that you can lose the first game and still win it.
Talking about the French, that was...
Mbappe.
yeah, but that was a game of 2 halves as well. I thought Senegal should have been ahead at half-time. Ismail Assar missed a couple of chances. They were unlucky with 1 or 2. They played well. The first half, Senegal, France were way off it. But when you've got that kind of quality in your team,
firepower.
Wow, bang.
Elise
bang.
as well, by the way.
Elise playing it forward, and Mbappe, you know, that first finish probably didn't get the respect it deserved.
Such
the run
a
and the
finish.
choppy finish to hit that right on the money
The
with
ball
regards
by
to
Elise
timing.
is the big one. The ball that Elise finds. And then that silly commentator talking about them and Zlatan and Thierry Henry just absolutely turned.
That was brilliant.
I haven't seen that. What happened?
Yeah,
So Landon Donovan says at half time, I think it was it half time? Maybe after the game.
Commentators because he's not in the.
Landon was in the stadium, yeah, and he said something along the time. The French were arrogant. The French are acting really arrogant here. They're arrogant. And then Alexis Lalas, who's been up to quite a few bits.
Happy you know his name, so I never.
Alexis Lalas. He was like the superstar of the US team in '94.
Was he? Is that who he was?
In 1994, yeah, he was like the main. He was the main guy. So he came out and said, "Yeah, they're playing with arrogance. They're out of order, playing with arrogance." And Thierry Henry went, "I'm not seeing that. I don't think it's quite worked, but blah 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 blah." And then Zlatan went, "Intelligent, ignorant people would say that that's playing with arrogance. Intelligent people would realise that's just confidence."
Oh.
And absolutely just cut right across the Thierry Henry's face. Went.
See him, he just looks like that. And his eyes just opened up. He's brilliant, Zlatan.
Yeah, them two have gone at each other, but it was a brilliant sort of comment.
Yeah,
and
it's fair as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't like them calling players arrogant when you're on a football pitch. There's no arrogance when you're on a pitch.
Oh, there is,
football.
but there's a certain kind of arrogance. I mean, if circumstances had been different, but I think it was half time or there'd been a poor first half performance. You can't say that. You can't use 45 minutes to say it's arrogance. It was just poor first half performance.
Yeah. It's just football. Yeah. It's just like football.
And there's also
give the other team credit us.
Yeah, but we also talk about good arrogance, having a good arrogance on the pitch. There's nothing wrong with a certain type of arrogance.
I just don't see how the word arrogance comes into a football. It's a football match. There's 11 players. How is one player or one team being arrogant? I don't understand where that narrative comes from. Like, why would you? I just don't get. Like, how is they being arrogant? How are the French being arrogant? That's what I don't understand.
I think it's along the terms of they thought they were better than they are kind of thing. That's where arrogance comes from. You believe in that. But as Zlatan says, that believing in yourself can be seen as confidence because I am this good. And the French showed, well, we are this good. We weren't at that level in the first half, but we can get to that level. So that's when they say having a good arrogance, which means a young kid can go on the pitch and swan around there, but because he's got real belief in what he can do.
Belief.
Yeah, well,
that's why they're the best.
But I will say there's a fine line between the two. There is, and you have to back up what you're doing. You have to match what your temperament and what you're showing.
I just don't see that as arrogance. I just see that as pure, absolute quality. You believe in yourself, you back yourself, and you know what? I'll show you. And I just
they
don't
look
see
good.
that level of arrogance.
I mean, taking off Dembele, Ballon d'Or winner, and then they put Barcola on, who scores not long after.
Scared, is he, to drag people off.
They've got firepower. I'm saying before, we've got firepower, bringing on Rashford and Saka, what they call finishers. We've got a little bit in other areas, but
there's his next level, isn't it?
No, they're the most dangerous nation in the world. Oof. They're the most dangerous nation in the world. When it comes to the front four, front three, whatever you want to call it, they're the most dangerous nation because they can just turn around.
They ask an awful lot of, if you saw in that France game. So I still think the French look favourites to win it. And
that was going to be my question. As your opinion changed on that.
But if you look at the way Senegal kept the ball and the chances they created and how they created them, you can get at France. I'm sure everybody's saying, well, look, you can get at England because we showed we can, and you can get at Spain, you can get at all these teams. But that front four, because it's not even a front three, it's a front four for the French. They expose the two central midfielders and the back four. They ask an awful lot of their midfielders and back four. The front four don't work as hard as you'd expect, or as you probably need to over the tournament. In terms of, it's like the opposite of Argentina, who realise that they're probably not the best. The two centre halves, I actually like Lisandro Martinez, but Cristiano Romero was a little bit suspect in some of his decision makers, so they kind of protect their whole team and just leave Messi up, whereas the French go, well, we're going the other way and we'll trust them defensively. And the centre halves actually played well for France, but they are exposed at times, and Senegal should have took the most of it, so you can get at them, but I still think they're favourites.
I echo what you're saying. I just think my child. I think 100% whoever beats France wins the World Cup. I think you're going to have to go through France to win it. I just think, and the biggest part of what you just touched on.
I think you're going to have to go through a number of teams.
No, but the final one will be France.
No, I agree with that.
If you beat France, you win the World Cup. And it might not necessarily be in the final, but they're going to be the hardest team to beat. I just feel what you're saying is, and the biggest part here for me is, can our defensive midfield dominate it? Because you need, if you're going to play France, you've got to dominate the middle of the park.
Yeah,
because you're not going to beat them. You're going to have to hit them on the break, and your middle two, Rice and Anderson. That kid is Anderson. Sorry, is going to have to be on it.
So I agree with that, but I also think back to kind of PSG Bayern Munich, and I'm going to get there in a second, because if we play France, we're naturally, I know it, I've seen it, sort of what we did against Croatia, we'll naturally drop away and we will work hard as a team. We will get behind the ball. And I hope we don't get behind the ball too much. I hope we actually, because if we do, then their front four will have a field day, because we're never getting back at them. Yeah. So coming back to that Bayern PSG game, I actually hope, and we do that, we do get back, but also we go on to tell you what, let's leave two up front. I know it's not English, but let's actually go toe-to-toe with you. Let's see what you've got. Let's see if we can... Let's make a game. But I'd hate to go out, and to be fair, the noises Thomas Tuchel's making is, if we're going out in our way.
Yeah, I'm not scared. Yeah.
So that actually gives me confidence going into them bigger games that we may go out, but we'll go out in an exciting way, not trying to hang on and being frustrated and think we're outplayed, and as English coming away from the tournament being disappointed in the manner of the defeat. I think we all enjoyed the Croatia game because it was exciting. I had some people say it was the best 45 minutes of football they've ever seen anyone play.
It was refreshing.
It was refreshing. It was great. So actually, I think that we might actually go toe-to-toe with these teams in the latter stages. Hopefully, touch wood, we'll get there.
I don't think he will.
I think we might actually give it a go and go out our way. And if we went out, having gone, played a game of basketball with opposition, I'm sure they'll criticise us defensively, but as a nation, we'd much more enjoy that.
I don't think he will, though. I just don't think he can. I think you're going to need two fellas in the midfield who are going to run and
they'll have to. No, they'll have to do what they're doing, but
he can't go toe to toe with them. I don't think
everyone's not behind the ball.
If someone goes toe to toe with them, someone's getting a good hiding. I think defensively they looked better than us, if I'm being totally honest.
They did. Their two centre halves look.
That's what worries me. The biggest point of my worry is that you're playing defenders who don't always play together, and even though you've said concept, I thought you done okay yesterday. I thought you done well, but I don't know. Defensively, it really worries me where we're at, because we shouldn't have conceded the way we did.
Yeah, but then so do you spend? Say you get to playing against one of these big teams, do you spend the whole game worried defensively? So protecting your defenders, so actually finding yourself in the position where you're actually all behind the ball because you're too scared to lose? Or do you actually go, well, we know to struggle defensively? This is what Vincent Kompany kind of said. I know they are one of the best teams. They're going to score. So actually, we're going to go score as well. So you choose to go at it that way and say, well, I tell you what, get after them.
I'd love them to have your mentality and what you're saying, but I just think they're going to be thinking, lads, if we can keep these shut up and shut out and we can dominate the ball, we're going to get them. We will get a chance. But if we start going toe-to-toe with these, you're looking at this could be stupid.
Well,
I don't know.
Hopefully we get the chance. Hopefully we get the chance to take these on and take a number of teams on in the latter stages. And by that time, they've all picked up so many yellow cards that they're missing a load of players.
Yeah. But we'll finish on this. Predictions for England versus Ghana.
Well, Ghana have just beat Panama 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was expecting them to win that game more.
The only game the whole World Cup I've predicted the right score.
Is it? Yeah. Have you been on it? Have we been doing on the app?
I've missed a few games, I can't lie.
I don't know my scores quite early. So
Did you?
I haven't known every score. But
You need to join the league because I tried to see you on the league. I haven't noticed.
You're not in our league.
Well, no, because I made a league and you haven't accepted the invite yet.
Okay, well, I'll jump
What league are you in? Whose league are you in?
I thought you were in it.
No.
What
We'll make a new one and do it from the next round.
You're in it. Me and Stubbs, you're in it.
I missed that. I didn't notice it. Jesus.
See what I mean? You're just not up to date at all. You need a PA. Jenny, come on.
I'm not far off.
I do need a PA. Yeah.
Jenny, look after
we talked on the pod last week about getting one going, and we're in it. You haven't joined yet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I haven't seen that.
So you're last.
Okay.
What was your question anyway?
Predictions.
For
England, Ghana.
sorry. So I thought before the tournament that we'd beat Ghana by a 2-0, say, and it'll be nice. But I think maybe they had a slow start. I haven't seen that game because of how late it was. Maybe they've had a slow start. Maybe they've. I'll try and watch it back. But only beating Panama 1-0. I'm thinking we might win that game by more now. So
be nice.
4-0.
I just
3-0, 4-0.
just think every team.
And we get carried away now. England have won a game.
I know, yeah.
Big
No,
Croatia,
no,
that's
coming
it.
home.
Every game's 4 and 5-0 now.
I'm not going to lie. I think that's going to be a really tight game because anyone coming up against England is going to realise our quality, see our strengths, and they're going to go, right, you know what, guys, we're going to attack these on set pieces. That's going to be our chance to get at them. And I think we'll sit deep, and that's going to be really hard for us to break them down.
Yeah, I was going to say, what I will say is Croatia didn't really sit deep against us.
No, they played with
allowed
us.
us to get at them. The other two teams in the group will be what we call it. We used to just call it defending deep. Now everyone calls it low block. Yeah, so they're going to do that. So how are we going to break them down? Yeah, so it might be a slow burn. It won't be as exciting as the Croatia game. No chance because of the manner of attack v defence. But I still think we win comfortably.
I think your difference there is going to be looking at players like a Saka and a Rashford. Because while Anthony Gordon done brilliant yesterday, I thought his chasing back, his tenacity, his work rate was really good in different aspects of his game. He does things that Rashford doesn't do. It's quite clear to see. He will chase back with like his life depends on it. He will be running up and down that wing, whereas Rashford's got a moment of brilliance. And so is Anthony Gordon, but it's just a different kind of brilliance, I think, with Rashford. I mean, there's no way Anthony Gordon would have been in that same position on the pitch that Rashford had in yesterday when Saka makes that pass. I don't think he'd have been there. I think he'd have been further back looking to defend and being not caught out. And I think that's the reason why Madueke starts. He gives you a position and a positional sense.
Pace is one of the reasons why he starts.
He tracks, mate, and he doesn't leave. He as much as I'm not the biggest fan of Madueke, he doesn't get caught out of position much. Mate, he tracks back so much, and he does them hard miles going back and forward. And I think that's why them two are picked. But I think if you're going up against a Ghana and they sit in this further back and they just look to hit you on the break, you're going to need moments of brilliance, and a Saka and a Rashford give you that.
I agree. I'd mix it up out wide in the next game.
I would consistently through the groups. I would change it quite a bit.
How do you think he done yesterday, Gordon?
I think he did okay. I think, look, some games, the way the opposition's set up and the way things are going is that you have to just do your job, and the weakness is or the strength is on the other side of the pitch.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens, and I felt in the first half, we're talking about O'Reilly was drifting into the middle, and I thought, but in the second half, he basically just did his job as a left back, and we won the game pretty much on the other side of the pitch. And I just think that happens sometimes. So Gordon didn't do badly, but we were exposing them on the other side of the pitch.
Is
better.
that down to the manager straight away? So you've identified that because he does that for City a lot. O'Reilly.
But look, that's you're talking about O'Reilly, yes, and I think he then said at half time, just play from your position a lot more, which he did. He played from left back, but sometimes in a game you go in with the best intentions to try and expose them, and a manager's probably going into the game thinking there's 3 or 4 ways we can get at them. One of them might be the more successful. That doesn't mean the other side of the pitch played badly. That just means, yes, we won it down that side of the pitch today. So yeah, good excitement for England. Lots of changes that we can potentially make to stay fresh and positive moving forward. I just want to talk about something else before we finish, and that is the refs. I've really enjoyed the referees' performances.
The referee in our game was the best one I've seen.
They have not allowed diving. They've not allowed throwing your back up. They've tried to play on as much as possible. in general, and just telling people to get up. They've not allowed time wasting. They've allowed physical contact without everything being a foul.
Been some bad misses though. There was a penalty. What game am I thinking about?
France. Now that's what we'll talk about. No, it's not.
That is a pen.
No, well, look, they are trying to. That's what I want to talk to you about. They are trying to. I understand what you're saying, right? So if we're going to go this down the Premier League, across Europe, there is a touch, and he goes down. But they have been consistent about trying to allow a little bit of contact, and that is consistent with
the other games.
with not only the other games, but every other decision. If you watch that game, and if you look at that incident on its own, you go, it looks like a penalty by the terms we're playing at. But if you watch even the rest of that game, he allowed those kind of challenges all day, and he was consistent with it. He basically said, get back on your feet. Plus, if we're fans of the Premier League and European football in general, and we're saying, I just wish everyone wouldn't dive so much, and I wish everyone would stay on their feet, and I wish everyone wouldn't that. But then everyone's coming out saying, "Oh, it's a definite pen. How are they getting it so wrong? And it's a disgrace." How can you ever sort of train the world of football back to trying to stay on its feet if you don't actually stop giving a few of these? And they've not just stopped giving it. It's not a complete disgrace. It was consistent to not only that game, but also the World Cup. And the World Cup has led sort of refereeing decisions for the last 3 or 4 tournaments. And if this kind of mentality of staying on your feet and allowing it, and the press actually get used to it, because the press drive decisions because of the criticism that might follow it. So if the press can get behind this of just get back to your feet, let's not allow it. It isn't a penalty, because yes, there was a touch, and yes, there was a lunge by Mane, and he did touch him. But Mbappé put his left foot down afterwards and could have carried on running, but decided to go down. That's fine, because in European football and the leagues he plays in, he'll get a penalty normally. But if we want to change the mentality of everybody just whinging and crying and going down the time, it starts now, and we have to all get behind it. We all have to believe in it. So people coming out and calling that a disgrace, I just can't get behind. I'm passionate about the referees being brilliant so far in this tournament.
But it's still a penalty.
Yeah, I think it's
no, I do get it. I get it. And I like what you're saying, because what you're promoting is consistency amongst decisions, and that's all we all want about. Because if everyone makes the same decision as that referee made, that means
I love the fact they got called over to the monitor and still went, "No, I've been reffing it like this," and that by today's standards isn't a penalty. Now, if every ref did that, we'd have a well better game. You're not telling me we've not enjoyed this tournament so far with the referees saying, even to Harry Kane in our game, and to the opposition Croatia players and every game, get back up. Get up. Get up. That's fine. It was a touch, but it's not enough. Now, isn't that better?
I do
than
like
everyone
that.
getting free kicks
more physical,
and the game getting broken up every 2 minutes, and the game getting stopped, and the game,
I do like that,
and
it promotes players being a bit tougher.
But we have to mentally all get behind it.
It promotes players being a bit tougher, a bit more aggressive, but then you can't talk to me about that on one side and then say we've got to have rehydration breaks on the other. I mean, you're promoting fellas to be tougher, get up and get on with the game. Let's have a good go, and then go, lads, we need a drink. We were 20 minutes into a game, we didn't know, so, you can't.
No, I get that. Yeah. Fair enough.